Hi, Peter Charles here, folks, for Life Fly Fishing, and today I'd like to talk to you about a relatively new Airflo Scandi head called a Scandi Long. Many of you are familiar with the Scandi Compact that Airflo has been selling for a long time. It's a relatively short Scandinavian shooting head, and if you were looking for a longer solution that would cast a little further with a little bit more finesse, the Scandi Long is now available. And it goes from 450 up to 600, and it has a longer taper than the old compact Scandi. Now, the nice thing about this kind of head, when you have a longer head with a longer taper, you're able to cast for distance more easily because the energy of the cast flows through the head more smoothly, and you can present long leaders with relatively sparse flies. Yeah, this is not a big fly solution, so don't think of it in those terms. But I mean, if you're fishing for Atlantic salmon and you want to, fish those glassy pools, you don't want to be chucking anything that's really clunky into those things. I've done that. I threw a Scandi head in there that was designed as a junk chucker, and that head hit, and the salmon went poof. They were all gone. Even my mic almost went. So, you really have to be careful when you're fishing for Atlantic salmon when the water is quiet, that you don't slap line in, and that's why you want something like this. Also, the other thing to keep in mind is when we're fishing for steelhead, I don't fish for these myself, but out west, if you're looking at summer runs, you don't need big flies for them, and you don't need big heavy rigs. You don't need to get the fly way down. I mean, that's a lovely solution for that type of fishing. The other thing is here in the Great Lakes area, sometimes we get low flows and the water's clear and the fish are hitting some small flies. I mean, I've got some pictures of, I'll post one of them. I think the fly might have been a size 10, and fish took it. And I mean, I've caught a lot of fish on some really small flies. So a head like this can present them on, say, a 15, 18, 20 foot leader, and just kiss it in there, just gently float it around, and the current will kick that thing all over the place. And if you do it on, if you watch my video on leaders, you can actually sink a fly like that fairly deep. You'd be surprised if you wanted to get it down, especially if you're dealing with a low flow situation here in the Great Lakes. So, this is a lovely solution for distance casting, finesse presentation, and they're just a joy to fish. And not only have I fished these, but I've also fished lines that were made by Airflo for other companies that had the same sort of general construction. Oh, I loved them. They were beautiful to fish. So, there's a joy to fishing these because they are so smooth. They just roll right out so elegantly and just turn that long leader over and drop that little fly down. And it just makes it so much fun. So if you're looking at a West Coast summer situation, if you're going Atlantic salmon fishing, or if you're in the Great Lakes and you're looking at a low flow, clear water situation, there you go. There's your solution. The Airflo Scandi Long. So check it out. Cheers.